my channel. Thanks for watching, much appreciated. So today what I have for you is we're going to go over the top 7, or at least in my opinion, the top 7 JavaScript methods that beginners should know and familiarize themselves with, because you will be using these a fair amount, especially in vanilla JavaScript, which is what we're using today, although these methods all apply in Angular, React, etc., because they all use vanilla JavaScript. So let me go over what I have real quick, which first off is I'm using VS Code, and I have just a simple folder, JS methods, and I have an index.html, and I also have a main.js file, or main JavaScript file, which I have imported through a script tag here. And I just have, an H4 just to give you guys some reference. We're not going to be putting anything into the DOM, which is the web page, but we are going to be, pretty much everything is going to be logged out in our console, which I have here, and it's zoomed in so you can see. So we're going to be looking down here. Okay. So here we go. So I just have a simple console.log just to show you that everything's working, to which I am running a live server on VS Code. So just right click. You have to install the extension here. Where is it? Right here. VS Code live server. And then when you go into your index.html file, you just open with live server, and it'll open in a browser window for you. And then you can do everything you need to do within there. So I'm going to delete this, just so there's no confusion. And the first one we're going to do is .toString. Now, let me real quick talk about what a JavaScript method is, at least in ES6 or ES 2015. Basically, it uses the dot notation. So you can apply a method outside of a class to a variable or other things, but to other functions. They're basically functions that you can chain onto each other, onto a variable, and then continue on. And as you see, you can chain on multiple methods to one variable, which is really helpful. And I'll give you an example of that in this first one. Our first one is .toString. So I'll do a comment .toString, and I'll put this on my GitHub just so you guys have it to play around with. So first I'm going to create a const, and I'm going to say an array. So basically what toString does is it returns a string representing the specified object. And I know that makes perfect sense. So basically it takes something that's not a string and it makes it a string, like an array, an object, or a number. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, 2, 3. Oops, need a comma there. 3, and we'll do A as a string. So it's going to take everything, even though A is a string, it's going to take that and put everything into one string. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, sometimes in order to work with it, you need it to be a string. I'm also going to create another variable called num, and that's going to be equal to 5. Okay, and then we're going to console.log. We're going to say array, which is our array variable up here, dot toString, and parentheses. That's how we signify it, with the parentheses, because that's where we're calling this function. We're calling this method on array in the console, and I'll show you. And there you go, it puts it into that. Now, if you real quick we'll just give this a generic variable r, and we'll say array.toString. Okay, and if we come down here and we do type of, which is a way of finding out what type something is, in this case our variable r, it's going to tell you what type of variable it is, and as you can see, it's a string. Now, if we remove this variable and we do type of array, it's going to say object. It's an object, even though technically it's an array, because everything in JavaScript is an object. But as you can see, toString converts it to a string. Now, for my React developers out there, so a real-world example of this would be to if you need to store a key as when you're mapping through something, right? If you're using the ID, which is a number, you have to convert it into a string to use it as a key um, for a mapping high order array method. But okay, that's toString. So I'm going to, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't show you this. So we're going to do num, our num variable dot toString. This will do the same thing. It'll convert 5 to a string, right? And if we just did num, if we just didn't change it to a string, and as you can see, it changes color, that signifies that it's a number, okay? So let me just do array dot, oops, toString. Okay, and I'll comment this out so you guys can have it. I will upload it to my GitHub just so you guys can download it and play around with it, or, excuse me, follow along if you like. So our next one is dot pop, okay? So I'm going to create a variable. Actually, let me just copy this because we need another uh, uh, array. So we have our array here. Okay. So basically, pop removes the last element of an array. So console.log array, whoops, array dot pop just removes the last element. Save all C. Okay. So actually, we can say const to give you a better thing. Const new array, we're going to do array dot pop, and then we'll console.log our new array. This mostly only works on arrays. There you go. Okay, so it pops off the end. And why would you use that? Just in case you wanted to manipulate the array and receive one without the last thing. Now, some of these are, I won't say repetitive, but they're kind of self-explanatory. So the next one we're going to do is dot reverse. If I could spell reverse, I think that's right. Check, yeah, so dot reverse, and we're going to use our same variable, or our same array, excuse me, and we're going to do console.log array.reverse method. Okay, save as, and as you can see, it gives us the length of the array, and it puts it in reverse. Now, why would you want to do that? Per se, if you wanted to get information by a created at date, excuse me, and then you wanted to give the person the ability to do an ascending or a descending search by date type of thing. So that's certainly where that would come in handy. Okay, let's move on to our next one. Now the next one is index of. So search the array for an element and returns its position. So basically, it's not going to give the actual. I'll just create a new array. So we're going to do dot index of. That should be commented out. So I'm just going to do const array is going to equal. We'll say x, 3 strings, x, y, z. Okay. Now, so what array index of does is it's going to give you the index of it. Okay, the position of it inside the array. So we're going to console.log array.index of, and you'll notice that these methods are camel case if there's two words. The second or the first letter of every word after the first word is capital. So just something to pay attention to because it will give you an error. oh, and you gotta, sorry, you gotta pass in the what you want to find the position of. Okay, 1, because JavaScript is 0 based. So x is 0, y is 1, and z is 2. So if we did z here, we should get 2. And there we go. It just gives you the index of it. Okay, let me comment this out. So that's index of, dot index of. Now the next one is kind of interesting, and one that I probably use the least, because there's other ways to do it, but it's dot search. Dot search. Let me comment this out. Okay. And again, guys, I'm going to put these all in my GitHub. So I'm going to say let word equal, we'll say Adam, my name. We'll set that as a variable, and then we're going to do console.log. Okay, we're going to do word. I guess that should have been name, but whatever. Dot search. Okay, and what do we want to search for? Well, we'll search for the M. Okay, so we're going to find where the M is, and it's in position 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, now you can do whole words, Smith, and we're going to search for Smith. Now this doesn't give you, it doesn't repeat back, it just gives you the position of where it starts. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Smith starts at the 5th position of the thing, so you can search through your string, as well as other things, but that's the basic idea. Let me scroll down so you can see. Now the next one is one that I use a fair amount. It's kind of helpful in a lot of places. Let's do let greeting equal hello world. Okay, good. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't write it. So this is dot replace. Okay, so basically what it does is replaces a specific value with another value within a string. Okay, so pretty self-explanatory, but it does come in handy a lot, especially if you're working with WordPress or something like that, and you just want a quick way to do something. I put that on a separate line. I'm going to say greeting dot replace. So it basically, so you got to type it out exact world, hello world, exclamation point, and it's going to replace that with everyone. Hello everyone. There you go. Right? And you could also do greeting just to show the difference. So here's our initial greeting, and then here's our altered one with our method. Okay. Listen, guys, short video today. I got a little tied up and wasn't able to do a video on Friday, but I just wanted to do one just to sort of get you going as I do with most of these videos. So hopefully you hope you found this helpful. Now, keep in mind that these 7 methods are by no means all of them. There's plenty of them. You can go to w3schools.com or the Mozilla JavaScript website, and they have all the methods there. And it's a really good resource where you can just sort of play around. And I mean, these are some of the most common methods that developers will use in the real world as a quick solution. And so hopefully this helps you out, guys. Gives you a little bit of inspiration to get going and get out there and start manipulating strings and arrays, because that's really what methods are. It's just a way to manipulate. It's a function to manipulate strings or arrays or numbers or what have you. Okay, that's what we're doing here. So I hope you found this video helpful. Please like this video if you did, and please consider subscribing as I release new videos every week for web developers in beginning stages. And I believe that's it, guys. Thank you for your attention. I appreciate it, and take care. See ya.